They ignored my wedding, left me alone in despair. But what happened next changed everything. From heartbreak and betrayal to unimaginable wealth. One person's unwavering belief turned my life upside down. Watch as I reveal the shocking struggles, the sacrifices, and the twist that left even my father speechless. Before we dive into this incredible story, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss our powerful, life-changing content. I remember the night my life shattered. The house was silent, my family absent. Their absence a sharp sting on the day I was meant to begin a new life. I stood alone, heart heavy, dreams seemingly broken before they could breathe. The world outside was cruel, and the corridors of my mind echoed with betrayal. Every failure I had endured seemed to whisper, "You are nothing." I had no safety net, no guiding hand, only my ambition and my despair. Then she arrived. Not in a blaze of glory, not with promises of rescue, but with patience, wisdom, and eyes that saw the man I could become. She held me in the darkest hours when even I had abandoned hope. Her voice, firm yet gentle, reminded me that strength is born not from privilege, but from pain, perseverance, and a refusal to surrender. We toiled together. She encouraged me to face every rejection, every humiliation. To learn when to fight and when to bend without breaking. Her sacrifice was quiet, her love unwavering. As I poured sleepless nights into ventures no one believed could succeed, there were moments I faltered. Moments I nearly quit. A business partner betrayed me. Friends turned indifferent. The weight of loneliness pressing until it almost crushed me. Yet, her faith never wavered. She reminded me that even shattered beginnings could bloom into empires. And slowly, painfully, our work bore fruit. The company rose from the ashes of failure into something monumental. The news of my success reached my father. I saw disbelief, pride, and regret flash across his face. But this was more than money. It was proof that love, guidance, and unwavering belief can transform despair into triumph. I had learned to rise not merely for myself, but for those who lift you when the world abandons you. Yet, even as I stood on the balcony of my new office, with the city lights sparkling like promises kept, I knew that the journey had only begun. Even as my company soared, the scars of rejection lingered. Boardrooms smelled of polished ambition, yet my heart ached for the warmth I had once been denied. I remembered the night I had sat alone in that empty house, listening to silence that screamed louder than any voice. She entered my life not with grand gestures, but with steady hands and quiet courage. She reminded me that greatness is hollow without compassion. That power without empathy is merely noise. Every late night, she would wait with a cup of coffee, her eyes reflecting the hope I had forgotten to hold for myself. One morning, after a particularly crushing betrayal, I broke down. Money, status, accolades, none of it mattered. She held me while I wept, whispering that failure was not defeat. That true victory lay in rising again, wiser and stronger. With her beside me, I faced impossible deals, navigated lies and deceit that threatened to swallow me whole, and rebuilt what others had written off. Each success was sweeter because it was earned in sweat and tears. Every sleepless night, every tear shed, every sacrifice she made, had sculpted the man who now stood before a world that had doubted him. Even my father's words, hesitant and filled with awe, could not erase the emptiness of years lost. Nor the lingering question, would love and loyalty always be my greatest currency? And yet, as I looked at her, standing quietly beside me, I realized the empire we built was more than wealth. It was trust, resilience, and the kind of love that transforms broken men into legends. But even at this peak, a storm brewed on the horizon. A choice that could either cement everything we fought for, or destroy it in a heartbeat. The storm came quietly at first, A subtle tremor in the foundation of everything we had built. A business partner I had trusted without question. Revealed deceit so deep it threatened to undo years of toil. Contracts vanished, alliances fractured. And the boardrooms that once cheered now whispered doubt behind closed doors. I felt the old fear clawing back. The same loneliness, the same helplessness I had known on that night. When my family abandoned my wedding. For a moment, I thought the empire we had built might crumble. And I could feel the weight of every sleepless night pressing down on my chest. She stood silently beside me. Hand on my arm, eyes fierce yet tender. She reminded me that storms reveal character. That fear is the furnace in which courage is forged. Her words were simple, but they pierced deeper than any advice or strategy. You do not rise alone. You rise together. We worked through the night. Planning, negotiating, fighting battles that tested every ounce of integrity we possessed. I watched her sacrifice, watched her fight my battles as if they were her own. And I realized success was not measured in numbers, but in the unwavering support of someone who sees your soul when the world looks away. At dawn, the first signs of victory emerged. The betrayal was exposed, trust restored. And our empire stood taller than before, shining with hard-won resilience. Yet, as I breathed the crisp morning air from my office balcony, I sensed another trial approaching. One that would test not just my wealth, but the very core of my heart. The trial came not in contracts or boardrooms, but in the heart. A whisper of doubt crept in, subtle yet suffocating. I found myself questioning if I had become the man I promised to be, or if ambition had hardened me into someone unrecognizable. She noticed before I could speak, her eyes searching mine with unwavering understanding. No empire, no fortune, no title can matter if your heart grows cold, she said. Her voice, soft yet unyielding, struck me with clarity I had ignored for too long. I realized that I had measured success in victories and profits, but neglected the lessons of love, patience, and integrity that truly define a life. The world watched me as a billionaire. Admired, envied, celebrated, but none saw the nights I cried alone. The betrayals I carried silently, the fear that nearly consumed me. She had been my anchor through it all. Her belief in me never wavering even when I had. I saw then that every triumph we claimed together was born not from strategy alone, but from the moral courage she inspired. Yet life is relentless. The moment of reckoning arrived quietly, an unexpected accusation. A scandal threatening to undo everything. A choice demanding truth over comfort, honor over ambition. I felt the weight of my past failings pressing down. And for the first time in years, I understood that wealth alone could not save me. I turned to her, my partner, my compass, and knew that whatever path lay ahead, it would be navigated together. Through courage, love, and unbroken trust. The accusation struck like lightning. A former partner, fueled by envy, twisted truths into weapons. Headlines threatened to swallow everything we built. Board members looked at me differently. Friends whispered doubts behind polite smiles. And the empire I had fought to protect teetered on the edge of ruin. I felt panic, the old loneliness creeping back. I wanted to run, to hide in the shadows where failure had once been my only companion. But she would not let me. She held my hand, her grip firm and steady, and whispered, "Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the choice to act despite it." Her eyes shone with the calm certainty that I could not yet feel in myself. Together, we dissected every lie, every betrayal, every hidden motive. She reminded me that transparency and integrity were not weaknesses, but the sharpest weapons in the face of deceit. I worked nights without rest. Emails, contracts, meetings, all fueled by a mixture of fear, love, and stubborn determination. Each day was a battlefield. And every small victory felt like survival itself. The weight of expectation was crushing. But her belief carried me through the dark hours. I realized then that wealth meant nothing without someone who sees the man beneath it. Someone willing to fight for your soul as fiercely as for your name. And yet, just when the storm seemed to break, a revelation came that I had never expected. Someone I trusted more than I should had orchestrated part of this chaos. The revelation hit like a thunderclap. Someone I had trusted completely, someone I had believed was loyal, had woven deceit into the very fabric of my life. For a moment, rage, betrayal, and despair threatened to consume me. I could have retaliated, lost myself in vengeance, and destroyed not just them, but the empire we had built with sweat and sacrifice. But then I looked at her. Her steady gaze, her unwavering belief in goodness and resilience, reminded me of everything I had learned on this journey. I realized that true power is not the money in the bank, not the accolades, nor the empire standing tall in the city skyline. True power is the ability to rise above bitterness, to respond with integrity, courage, and compassion, even when the world pushes you to darkness. We confronted the betrayal with calm clarity. We exposed the lies, repaired the damage, and strengthened our foundation. The experience left scars, yes, but it also left wisdom, a wisdom money cannot buy. I saw my father finally, after years of silence. His eyes reflecting pride, surprise, and respect. And I understood that success is never merely personal, it is shared, earned, and nurtured by those who lift you when you cannot stand alone. Looking back, I realized that every heartbreak, every rejection, every sleepless night was not punishment but preparation. I became a billionaire not just through strategy, but through perseverance, humility, and the unwavering love of someone who believed in me when I could not believe in myself. Life will always test you. It will present storms, betrayals, and moments that feel impossible. But the lesson is simple. Hold on to integrity, nurture those who believe in you. Work tirelessly, love fiercely, and never let failure define you. Because it is through struggle and trust, pain and sacrifice, that greatness and true happiness are forged. The empire I built, the fortune I earned, was never the end. It was proof that resilience, love, and moral courage are the truest measures of success. The journey continues, but now, I know. The heart that rises with kindness and wisdom cannot be defeated.